feel like most of the time when people ask how we are, we say, I'm fine. Or we come up with a cliche that's like, I'm busy, but good, right? We really have this deep-seated desire that everybody around us needs to think that everything's fine and everything's good. And actually, I think if we peel that back just a little bit, what we're really trying to do is convince ourselves that we're fine as well. If we can just get everybody else to believe it, and get everybody else on board, then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to convince ourselves of the same thing. But no matter what, at the end of the day, our top priority is making sure that everybody else knows that we're fine, we're good, everything's great. We might be going through some challenges, but like, I'm fine, right? And I think most of us can relate to this. These two words, I'm fine, are so damaging, and I don't think we talk about that enough. High performing leaders will automatically and just consistently say this. I'm fine, maybe even before the person's done asking the question, right? I know I'm guilty of that. Like, how are you doing? I'm fine. And they were like, in this volunteer thing, like, oh gosh, I didn't even give time for that question to be asked all the way. And it doesn't matter who's asking it. It can be a peer, it can be a boss, it can be someone on your team, it can be your kid, it can be your kid's teacher. It can be the person checking you out at Kroger. And we are just fine. We're always fine. We're fine. Everybody's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. We're fine. Everybody's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. And if I had to guess, I want to offer that probably 99% of us are not fine. There's something in our life, me, you, all of us, that is not fine. Things are going on, stuff is happening. But what we don't want to do or what we're afraid of doing is burdening someone else with that or appearing like we don't have our stuff together because we want everyone to believe that we do. But how do you even tell someone an honest answer? How do you even say, actually, there's a lot of stuff going on. I feel really overwhelmed and burdened right now. I'm still holding it down because that's what I'm an expert at doing, but there's a few things in my life that are falling apart at the seams. And maybe even just the idea of saying that and being that honest is absolutely terrifying to you. And if it is, I just want to say, okay, I understand that. That's normal. I would expect it to because culturally, we have just adapted to being fine all the time. And so it would feel very weird to do something differently, especially when we're rewarded for handling things, for not needing too much, for being capable, reliable, and the one who doesn't make things complicated. So, of course, we're fine, right? At some point, though, being fine has become a liability for you. And I doubt that anyone else has ever said that to you. But at some point, being fine has become a liability for you and probably for the people in your world. This might make you feel nervous, but we feel like if we say, especially in a leadership position, I'm struggling, or it's not all held together, or maybe it's held together with duct tape and the duct tape's starting to fail. We feel like we are risking losing the room, losing confidence and losing trust in our team and our peers and our boss, in our reputation. And it's not true. It's actually costing us because it disconnects us from ourselves. When we perform out of reflex, we stop even actually accessing what's true for ourselves because we're lying to ourselves too when we say that. And if we can't accurately read our own interior, then we're just going to make bad decisions because we can't even self assess accurately, right? You're operating on performance and not real data and truth. Secondly, it disconnects you from your team. There's research on psychological safety that shows that leaders who model authentic emotional expression, professionally appropriate, but authentic emotional expression, I'm not talking about oversharing and venting, but just genuine acknowledgement of when things are hard, their teams have significantly, statistically significant more trust in their leadership. They have more honest and open communication, and they have better performance. I've seen this to even be true with my child. I feel like I have to always be the mom that's like there and things are perfect and rainbows and unicorns. And I have started, now he's a teenager at this point, but I have started saying, I'm having a really hard day. Something really difficult happened. I had something come out of left field. I got some bad review on a speaking engagement. I had a client back out of a thing that I thought they were going to do. I wrote 16 Substacks and the system failed and I lost all of them because I got lazy and didn't back them up. Whatever it is, I'm not going to overshare all of my business details with my teenager, but I am going to be honest that like some really crappy things happened today, right? It actually builds trust because guess what? You're a human and they can see you navigating reality. Your team needs to see that life isn't perfect. How are they going to navigate hardships if they don't see you navigating hardships? If they don't understand that you know how to navigate hardships, why would they trust you to do it? Because your life's always perfect. So, of course, everything's fine. Instead, our fine is telling our teams that real is not welcome here, that this is performative, that this is fake. We're just going to fake it till we make it. And then the example they're seeing in their leader, you, is that nothing's ever wrong and we're not going to acknowledge it. So you're losing trust in your team. And then third, it keeps you isolated in those moments that you actually need support. When I have been honest and I have said, you know what, this crazy thing happened, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but here's what happened. 9 times out of 10, people have creative solutions I never would have thought about. I ended up with mentors, I ended up with coaches, I ended up with accountability partners, I ended up with a group and a support that I needed to grow and be better because I was honest about the situations I was going through. If I'm always fine, why would anyone ever offer support? Why would they ever reach in? Why would anyone ask twice? Why would they ask me to support them when something's hard when they think I've never navigated anything hard, right? Maybe it's because I had a day off yesterday and I relaxed, but I just feel like a little extra calling truth bombs today. I used to work with someone who said she loved to throw truth bombs. And so we're just throwing some truth bombs today. That's the reality of the situation, right? So the leaders that acknowledge difficulty, the ones that are leading authentically, even briefly and simply, were rated significantly more trustworthy and effective by their teams than leaders who maintain some kind of fake, consistent, polished, everything's under control, everything's fine persona. People know, they know it's not fine. They know. We might lie to ourselves and think we got them to believe it, but we didn't. They know. You know. How many times have you gone to a networking event or to a meeting or anything and someone said that, but you knew they were BSing you? We know. The people in your life know too. So being real does not undermine your authority. Performing does because people know. People can feel that gap. They just don't call you out on it. But guess what? I will. And that's what I'm here for. So I'm going to call you out on it. It's time to stop doing that. So here's what I know from working with leaders for over a decade. When we stop saying I'm fine and we start acknowledging the reality again in a professional way, in a way that's appropriate, something does shift inside of us. It shifts in our teams, it shifts with our peers. And over time, that even shifts into our personal lives as well. It's not a dramatic public shift, but those rooms, when once they see you showing up authentically more and more and more, they know that they can trust you. And then they start saying things like, "This week has been a lot." And they know they can come to you as a leader to help navigate them through that. And that's where we want to be in a leadership role, right? Um, this week, the Nest group closes. This is a place for women in leadership roles who are ready to step into their authentic leadership, where they are ready to have the hard conversations. What's great is we can start those conversations in a confidential group where we have signed a confidentiality agreement for one another, where everyone is coming in this room for that purpose, like we're all coming in knowing that this is exactly what we need at this stage in life. We're ready to let it down and let it be. And then we can support others while they're also supporting us, while I am also supporting everyone in that room in coaching and in growth and leadership. So this may be the first week that you get to say, I'm not fine. And actually, I'm going to opt into this. And this is exactly what I need right now. And I would love to walk you through that. I would love to provide that space for you. And I would love to let you grow into that space where you can be true to yourself and be a better leader because of it. This room is going to change how you lead, not only professionally, but everywhere else as well. So if you are a woman in a leadership role and or a business owner, this is the space for you. Once you have that place to be honest and you don't have to carry it all by yourself, you're going to take that everywhere you go. So this is my invitation for this week because we close on Friday. I want you to notice how many times you say I'm fine or some variation of that. And then ask yourself if it was really true, because I know it wasn't. I can already tell you it's not going to be. You don't need to share that with everyone, but maybe let me know. Maybe go ahead and take that step and fill out that application for the nest. amycapello.com/nest. There's a link to the application. And maybe it's time for you to be in a room where being fine is not required. This room will take 12 women max. It's a 6-month investment in your time, effort, energy, and money. And this is where you get to put it down. This is where you actually get to sign up for something that is going to be a relief and not an addition to your plate. Of all the women that I've talked to who have thought about joining, every single one of them, I'm just going to say this, every single one of them have said, I don't have the capacity to add something else to my plate. And I shared with someone recently who's in a business group that I'm in. I said, I didn't have a word for a year. I had an era. And my era for this year is subtraction. Well, I'm sorry, expansion by subtraction. Expansion by subtraction. What can we put down so that we can expand? And the nest is that room. Yes, you're investing in something, but you will put down far more than you add to your plate by being in this room. Your capacity will expand and you will feel a relief. If you don't believe me, go listen to all the testimonials I've posted from the women who were in the group for the last 6 months. They had the same concerns, they had the same fears. We're all busy, but they were able to take a deep breath. Okay, I'm coming on live every single day this week and wrapping up because I'll be leading two groups of the Nest, the original one that decided they wanted to stay together and stay on for another 6 months, and this new one that I'm inviting you to join right now. Please let me know. We can do a call. If you have questions, if you're interested, shoot me an email, info@amycapello.com, fill out the application and I'll reach out to you. Shoot me a DM on Facebook, whatever makes sense for you. Reach out to me. I'm here. I would love to talk to you about it. If you are ready and you know this is right for you, fill out the application. Let's chat. I will check in with you guys tomorrow. It is so good to talk to you as always, and I will check in tomorrow. I hope to hear from you before then, though. All right, take care.